From Sergei Pavlovich's insane win against Curtis Blades to questions about who his next opponent is going to be, let's look at if Jon Jones vs Sergei Pavlovich will ever happen. Now, Pavlovich has been making waves in the heavyweight division, and after his victory against Curtis Blades at UFC Fight Night 222, he's looking to challenge the best in the business. His goal for now is to challenge whoever wins the upcoming fight between Jon Jones and Stipe Miocic later this year, and he isn't taking any shortcuts to the top. He knows that both Jones and Miocic would be tough opponents, so he's preparing for both of them. The guy's a machine, and with his tremendous power and perfect 6-fight winning streak, he's definitely a force to be reckoned with. When asked about his strategy against Blades, Sergei revealed that he was ready for all 5 rounds. But once he realized he was getting the upper hand, he seized the opportunity to finish it early. That's the kind of mentality you need to take on the best in the world. And it's clear that he has what it takes.
Team being put to use for Pavlovich. The hand speed of Pavlovich is just too much right now.
Now, don't get me wrong, Jones and Miocic are no slouches. They're hard warriors, and whoever emerges as the champion after their bout later this year will definitely have their hands full. But if there's anyone who can take them down, it's this guy. Sergei is resting up now, but make no mistake, he's ready to take on anyone who steps into the octagon with him. And who knows, maybe he'll be the first to decisively beat Jon Jones. The possibility of a Jones-Pavlovich fight has got everyone buzzing, and it's not hard to see why. I mean, Jon Jones is an absolute legend in the MMA world. He's got an undefeated record, and he's taken on some of the toughest opponents out there. Jones is a fierce competitor with a killer instinct, and he's not afraid to take risks. Now, on the other side of the octagon, we've got Sergei Pavlovich. This guy is a rising star in the heavyweight division, and he's got the perfect record to back it up. He's a powerhouse with insane strength and incredible technique. When he steps into the cage, you know you're in for a wild ride. So when you put these two together, it's like fireworks. Fans can't wait to see what kind of battle these two warriors will bring to the octagon. Will it be Jones' experience and calculated strikes that win the day? Or will Pavlovich's sheer power and aggressive style be too much for Jones to handle? But I genuinely think that Jones needs to fight Pavlovich before he retires. He doesn't have that many years left in him, but this guy is the perfect opponent for him. Now, Jon Jones is one of the best fighters in the game, and he's already faced some of the biggest names. So why is Sergei, of all people, the perfect opponent for him? Well, before he entered the heavyweight division, Jones had been complaining about not feeling nervous before fights. In fact, that's the main reason he gave for moving up to heavyweight. He wanted to feel nervous again. That might sound strange to you and me, but for a fighter like Jones, nerves are what get him fired up and ready to go. Without them, he feels like he's missing something. That's where Pavlovich comes in. This guy is an absolute beast in the octagon. He's got the power, the speed, and the aggression to make even the toughest opponents nervous. And that's exactly what Jones needs. He needs someone who can push him to his limits and make him feel like he's really in a fight. But that's not all. Pavlovich is also the perfect opponent for Jones because he's on a winning streak. 6 fights, 6 wins. This guy is on fire, and he's not afraid to take on the best of the best. If Jones wants to prove that he's still the top dog in the heavyweight division, he's going to have to take on someone like Pavlovich. And let's not forget about Pavlovich's fighting style. He's a striker, just like Jones. That means we're in for a stand-up battle that could go either way. These guys are pretty evenly matched. I mean, all you need to do is compare the two. Let's start with Jon Jones. He's got lightning fast strikes, he's a master of takedowns, and his ground game is on point. Jones is known for his unorthodox style, and he's not afraid to mix it up with his opponents. On the other hand, Sergei is also an absolute powerhouse. He's got some serious punching power, and he's not afraid to use it. Pavlovich is a striker at heart, and he's got some of the best boxing skills in the game. So, who would win in a fight between these two? Well, it's Tough to say for sure, but my money would be on Jones. Don't get me wrong, Pavlovich is a great fighter, but Jones is just on another level. Jones has faced some of the best fighters in the world and come out on top. He's got the experience, the skill, and the heart to take on anyone. But many of Jones' advantages over other fighters end when it comes to Sergei. For example, one of the main ways he dominates his opponents is with his insane 84-inch reach. You want to know what Sergei's reach is? The exact same. So what can Sergei do to potentially win a fight against Jones? First things first, he would need to work on his takedown defense. As I mentioned, Jones is a master of takedowns, and if Pavlovich can't defend against them, he's going to be in trouble. He would need to use his size and strength to stay on his feet and avoid Jones' takedowns. Aside from that, he would need to use his striking skills to his advantage. He's got some serious power in his hands, and if he can land a clean shot on Jones, it could be game over for the champ. He would need to keep his distance and use his boxing skills to outstrike Jones. Another thing he could do is target Jones' legs. Bones is known for his high kicks and fancy footwork, but if Pavlovich can chop away at his legs, he could slow Jones down and take away some of his mobility. But perhaps the most important thing he would need to do to beat Jones is stay calm and focused. One of Jones' most lethal weapons is his mind. Seriously, the guy is one of the most mentally tough and manipulative fighters out there. Pavlovich would need to stay calm and composed, even in the face of the champ's unorthodox style. But with all that said, will we ever see Sergei Pavlovich and Jon Jones square off in the octagon? As of right now, Jon Jones is focused on his next opponent, Stipe Miocic. Now, I'm not one to predict the future, but many people believe that Jones will come out on top in that match. If that's the case, then Sergei could be the perfect contender for the heavyweight championship. But what if Stipe Miocic pulls off an upset and takes down Jones? Well, that could change things up. Pavlovich could choose to go for the heavyweight championship and ignore the dream match with Jones. Or he could take a different route and try to figure out a way to fight Jones regardless of whether or not he's the champ. Now, I don't know about you, but the idea of Sergei going after Jon Jones, even if he's not the champ, is pretty intriguing to me. It would be like David versus Goliath, but with two Goliaths. I mean, sure, Jones has faced some tough opponents in the past, but Sergei is a different beast altogether. If there's one thing we know about him, it's that he's not afraid of a challenge. He's already taken down some big names in the heavyweight division, and he's got the power to knock anyone out. But facing Jon Jones would be a whole different ballgame. If Pavlovich wants to beat Jones, he'll need to bring his A game and then some. It won't be easy, but it's not impossible either. So from the question of who his next opponent is going to be, to Sergei's insane win against Curtis Blades, will Jon Jones v Sergei Pavlovich ever happen?